Boxing has always been a theater of extremes: power and precision, hunger and humility, glory and ruin. But every once in a while, a fighter walks through that stage who seems carved from the best of two eras. A man who fights with the cold accuracy of Floyd Mayweather, yet hits with the ferocity of Gervonta Davis. Today, that man is Raymond Ford. The Camden-born southpaw many call the Savage, a new-age predator rising through the ranks with one clear goal: to hunt down the legendary Naoya Inoue, the man they call the Monster. Raised between struggle and survival, Ford's story began on the tough streets of Camden, New Jersey, a place where fight instinct is born before you even put on gloves. For Ford, boxing wasn't just an outlet. It was a lifeline. It was how he made sense of chaos. And through sheer will, he's turned that fire into titles, becoming champion in both the featherweight and super featherweight divisions in just 5 years as a professional. But now, as the whispers grow louder, one question hangs over the sport: can the Savage be the first man to defeat the Monster? To understand what Ford is up against, we need to rewind. Because before the world started talking about Ford's meteoric rise, Naoya Inoue was already writing history in ink that won't fade. In September 2024, Inoue stepped into the ring against Ireland's T.J. Doheny, a dangerous southpaw with a heavy left hand and a reputation for grit. Many thought Doheny's power would test the Japanese icon. But what unfolded inside the Tokyo arena was something else entirely. Inoue, known for his calm before the storm, traded his usual patience for punishment. He walked down Doheny with controlled aggression, mixing speed, timing, and that explosive right hand that has ended so many nights early. Round after round, Inoue adjusted, dissected, and dominated. Doheny fired back bravely, swinging that left hook with everything he had, but the Monster was unfazed. Every counter was sharper, every angle more ruthless. By the 6th round, it was clear: Doheny had entered a different realm, one where every mistake was met with a price. Inoue's combinations to the head and body came in vicious rhythm, and the crowd could sense the inevitable. When the fight was finally stopped, Inoue had once again proven why his knockout rate belongs to the history books: a craftsman of destruction whose control is as terrifying as his power. That same year, across the ocean, Raymond Ford was forging his own legend. The night he won his first world title against the Uzbek powerhouse Otabek Kolmatov was one for the ages. For 11 rounds, it was a war of wills: youth versus experience, patience versus pressure. But in the 12th, with only seconds on the clock, Ford flipped the switch. Channeling pure instinct, he unleashed a storm of hooks and uppercuts that forced the stoppage with just 7 seconds remaining. In that moment, the Savage was crowned world champion, and boxing took notice. His blend of poise and punishment had arrived on the big stage. Fast forward to April 2025. The scene, the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Ford's home turf. The stakes, the super featherweight division. The opponent, Puerto Rico's Orlando Gonzalez, a skilled and powerful contender with pride on the line. From the opening bell, Ford dictated with his southpaw jab, flicking, feinting, and setting traps. His rhythm was hypnotic. The jab wasn't just a rangefinder, it was a weapon. But what made Ford dangerous that night wasn't just his precision, it was his composure. He fought with the calm of a veteran and the hunger of a prospect still trying to prove a point. By the 2nd round, Ford found his mark. A short left hook opened the door for a crashing right that sent Gonzalez to the canvas. The crowd erupted. Philly had found its new hero. As the fight wore on, Ford's control deepened. He varied his attack, mixing body shots with sharp counters. Gonzalez tried to rally, throwing combinations to back Ford up, but the Savage simply adjusted, slipped, and fired back twice as hard. Each exchange was a lesson in balance, Ford showing he could take a shot, stay composed, and answer with precision that punished every opening. By the later rounds, Gonzalez was wearing the story on his face. The pace, the pressure, the accuracy, Ford was breaking him down piece by piece. And then came the final round, with seconds left on the clock. Ford sensed blood, unleashed a barrage, and nearly closed the show before the bell saved Gonzalez. It didn't matter. The verdict was unanimous. The Savage had dominated every second. That night, he lifted the WBA Continental North America Super Featherweight title, and with it, sent a message to the world. Raymond Ford was no longer a rising star. He was a storm on the horizon. But while Ford was conquering the U.S., Inoue was busy making history in Japan. In the spring of 2024, the monster squared off against the Philippines' Marlon Tapales in Tokyo, a unification fight that would determine the undisputed super bantamweight champion. It was a battle of champions, but Inoue came in with the aura of inevitability. Tapales was tough, fearless, and armed with a dangerous counter left. Yet, Inoue seemed to be playing chess while everyone else played checkers. From the first round, he dissected Tapales with surgical precision, body shots that thudded like drumbeats and head shots that cracked like lightning. Tapales had his moments, landing clean counters that drew roars from the crowd, but Inoue's timing was supernatural. The fight escalated into an all-out war of wills. Tapales wouldn't back down, but Inoue's composure never cracked. Round after round, the Japanese superstar adjusted, dissected, and punished. In the 10th, a thunderous right hand sent Tapales stumbling. Seconds later, a perfectly placed shot sealed it. The monster had done it again. Another champion down, another record broken. With that victory, Inoue became the first boxer ever to unify all 4 major belts at 122 pounds, and in doing so, joined Terence Crawford as one of only 2 men in the 4-belt era to become undisputed in 2 weight classes. His knockout rate, a staggering 90%, became the highest in world title history. The monster wasn't just winning. He was redefining what dominance looked like. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Raymond Ford was writing his own script of destruction. In 2023, he faced Jesse Magdaleno, a former world champion hungry for redemption. For Ford, this was the proving ground. Magdaleno had pedigree, experience, and pride, but Ford had something different: rhythm, range, and ruthless patience. From the opening bell, Ford's jab landed like a metronome, his movement silky and sharp. He boxed like a man painting his masterpiece, changing tempo, switching angles, never letting Magdaleno settle. By the middle rounds, Ford's control became suffocating. Every time Magdaleno tried to step forward, he ate clean counters. Ford's left hook snapped his head back again, and his right hook, the punch that earned him the nickname the Savage, began to find a home. When the knockdown came, it wasn't a surprise. A perfectly timed hook sent Magdaleno to his knee. The crowd gasped, and Ford didn't celebrate. He simply walked back to his corner, eyes cold, expression unshaken. For him, it was business. A few rounds later, another barrage forced the referee to intervene. Ford had delivered a statement. He wasn't just beating contenders. He was dismantling them. And it was after that fight that Ford made his intentions crystal clear. He wanted Naoya Inoue, the monster at the top of the mountain. The man every fighter at 122 feared to name out loud. Ford wasn't intimidated. He was inspired. Because for a fighter born in struggle, raised in the fire, and hardened by the grind, the idea of facing a legend wasn't a nightmare. It was the ultimate dream. When you look at them side by side, they seem like 2 different species of the same animal. Inoue, the methodical samurai, a master of timing, technique, and power. Every punch from him is precise, compact, and devastating. He breaks opponents down like a surgeon. Then there's Ford, fluid, unpredictable, the street-smart tactician who thrives in chaos. He blends the defensive reflexes of Mayweather with the attacking creativity of Davis. His southpaw stance confuses even the best. His jab blinds. His hooks crush. His ring IQ, way beyond his years. These aren't just fighters, they're philosophies in motion. So what happens when precision meets savagery? When does discipline collide with defiance? That's what the world is about to find out. The build-up to Ford vs. Inoue has boxing fans buzzing across continents. The veteran Japanese legend, revered and feared. The young American assassin, fearless and hungry. It's a generational collision, the kind that defines eras. Analysts have already started drawing lines. They say Inoue's timing and balance will neutralize Ford's speed. That Ford's lack of experience at the top level could be his undoing. That no one can handle Inoue's bodywork, the kind that turns men into statues by the middle rounds. But Ford's camp sees something different. They see openings, patterns, habits, and exploitable tendencies. They've studied Inoue's footwork, the way he sometimes overcommits to the right hand, and the brief moment his guard flares open when he pivots left. Ford's coach calls it the window of pain, a split-second chance to slip, counter, and make the monster taste his own medicine. And make no mistake, Ford believes he can do it. He's been preparing for this moment since the first day he laced up gloves. For him, it's not just about belts or headlines. It's about legacy. It's about proving that a kid from Camden, New Jersey, could rise through the chaos and dethrone a legend from Japan. The contrast between them couldn't be sharper, the respectful, stoic Inoue versus the expressive, fiery Ford. Yet, beneath that contrast lies a shared truth. Both are obsessed with mastery. As the countdown to fight night draws closer, the hype grows to fever pitch. Media outlets call it a collision of generations. Fans flood social media with predictions, edits, and debates. Some say Ford's speed will shock the monster. Others insist Inoue's precision will humble the challenger. The truth? Nobody knows. That's what makes boxing pure theater. Every punch is a question. Every round, an answer. Inside the gym, Ford's preparation is relentless. Mornings start with miles on the pavement. Afternoons, endless rounds of pad work, sharpening combinations, drilling defense, fine-tuning that right hook that's become his signature. Sparring partners describe his energy as controlled chaos. He'll lure you in with rhythm, then explode with power. But beyond the physical, it's the mental edge that sets him apart. Ford studies film like a detective, frame by frame, punch by punch, searching for the code to break Inoue's rhythm. Inoue, meanwhile, trains like a machine built for purpose. Every movement, measured. Every routine, perfected. The Japanese superstar knows that Ford represents a new kind of challenge. Taller, younger, faster, and unpredictable. But Inoue has never feared adaptation. His ability to adjust mid-fight is the hallmark of greatness. And in his camp, the message is simple. Another opponent, another masterpiece waiting to be painted. When fight night finally arrives, the world will stop to watch. The Wells Fargo Center will erupt as Ford walks in draped in red, his hometown behind him. Across the ring, Inoue will enter in gold and white, expressionless, unshaken, and ready for war. Two men, two continents, one destiny. The bell will ring, and for the first time, the monster and the savage will share the same space. Ford's jab will test the waters. Inoue's counters will flash. The rhythm of the fight will swing like a pendulum, youth and hunger against experience and precision. And somewhere in those exchanges, boxing's next chapter will be written. Whether Ford becomes the man who ends Inoue's reign or the next name on the monsters list, one thing is certain: this fight will be remembered. Because every so often, the sport gifts us something more than belts and rankings. It gives us a clash of souls, two men embodying everything beautiful and brutal about boxing. Raymond Ford, the savage from Camden. Naoya Inoue, the monster from Japan. One chasing history. The other is defending it. And when the dust settles, no matter who's left standing, the world will know they witnessed greatness meeting greatness, a new legend forged in the fire of another. Until that bell rings, all we can do is wait. Because in the world of boxing, legends aren't born, they're built, one punch at a time.